Yo, what's up? It's the one and only HipHopGamer. I got my man Job with me. Alright, it's not, nah, look. Let me tell y'all something. You see the bat symbol? I just got an opportunity of a lifetime to play the full first episode of Batman from Telltale Games. And I'm going to tell you something right now. Word to everything, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know my grandma's taught me how to play games when I was 4 years old. I'm keeping it so 1000 with you right now, all right? Every comic, every movie, every game prior to this one that I've played dealing in the Batman world, the Batman series, I never in my soul, never ever played a game where or saw a movie, read a comic or anything that truly made me feel like Batman, truly made me feel like Bruce Wayne in my life. I'm 33 years old, been playing games since I was 4 years old, and never in my life has a game done that and represented Batman that way. How do you feel with this about to come out based on what I just said?
I mean, that's fantastic. That's exactly what we're going for. You know, this is we've seen Batman. Batman's been around for 75 years, over 75 years. Wow. Comics, movies, games, film, TV. We've seen Batman everywhere for years and years and years and years. So many different interpretations, and you know, when different directors and writers and artists sort of step into the cape and cowl and step into Gotham and try and tell their stories, everyone's kind of got their own unique, different take on it. But you know, over the years, we really still haven't seen a lot that dives into the life of Bruce Wayne, especially in games. And you know, so much credit to the team at Rocksteady. We love the Arkham series so much; it's fantastic. You know, some of the best action games of all time, Game of the Year material. We love it so much. We're big fans. We hope we see more. I don't know if there's more. I know there's Batman VR coming out, but it's just awesome.
Gotta be more.
But there's so much room for more Batman. There's so much room for different comics going on, different films, different TV and different games. And working with DC and Warner, we wanted to take the opportunity to really dive into, you know, the man behind the mask, and see what it's like to be Bruce Wayne and be the man that really puts on this costume and really goes out and has these crusades at night. And what is it like? Why is he doing this? And what is it like to be the billionaire? Why is it so hard to be in the spotlight as Batman just as much as it is Bruce Wayne? And I mean, you played today, you know, everything Batman is doing, the city's watching. They're watching his fights on the rooftops at night. They're seeing what he's doing with Catwoman. Everything's reported in the media. But also, as Bruce Wayne, you saw him today. Just, you know, Carmine Falcone walks into his manor, and you know, just shaking that guy's hand in the public spotlight is hard enough for Bruce Wayne. And it's just, there's so much going on in his life.
I refuse to do that too.
You did. We're glad that you did. That it's, you know, there's so much fertile ground for Telltale to really explore, and you know, Bruce Wayne is just such a rich and complicated character, and it's really just perfect for a Telltale series.
Now, story. Now, is this like a brand new story, or is it pulling from something? Because the way this is designed, let me explain something to y'all. The way they designed this story, and the writers, like the talent behind this game and what you will experience, I never seen Batman this way. I never got a chance to truly be him. So to explain further, right, when we was talking off camera, I was saying how you got a lot of people in the world that would be like, oh, I would love to be like Beyonce, or I would love to be like Jay-Z, or I would love to be like, you know, on 50 Cent or something like that. And you don't know the decisions that they had to make to see the final product that we watch on TV. Right. Like, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of times you may want to be something, but when you're in it, this is what you asked for. You may not have wanted this. This game is the perfect sentiment to that statement and analogy. It will blow your mind. Now, the story, why? Like, why this? Like, why did y'all want to tell this story? Where is it going? How important is this to the Batman franchise overall? Well,
to answer a lot of those questions, yes, it's entirely original. It's not based on any other comic line or any other, you know, movie or game series. It's entirely Telltale's own story. but we are obviously influenced by a lot of the themes we've seen in Batman for years and years and years, and some of our own and some current events even. I mean, you know, there's certainly a lot to be said right now, and in the game, you know, Gotham City is... I mean, I'm not going to ruin it here for everyone else.
Don't ruin it, please don't.
But there are sort of the haves and the have-nots, and the Wayne family is at the top. They're the top of that 1% that we keep hearing about. And, you know, sometimes there are conflicts between what Bruce really wants to save the city, and the city is really just, you know, he's looking out for the common people. Yeah. But sometimes that idea of him as a billionaire being on top, and perhaps even some questionable actions of the Wayne family that maybe even anyone was aware of, is really also a central theme, and re-exploring what it meant to be a Wayne and how the Waynes rose to power. And a lot of that's going to be coming into question, and why I'm trying to dance around not...
I know, I feel you. It's hard. It's hard. Listen, let me explain. I just played the whole first episode, and it's hard to do this interview because of the things that we don't want to say. Because the way I feel, I want y'all to feel the same way and get the same fair shake playing it for yourself. Now, one thing I do want to say from a gameplay standpoint, there's so many elements to Batman that you guys maintain that same authenticity through a Telltale style of gameplay. I felt that was amazing and well thought out. From figuring out how a crime scene is, you never played a crime scene like how they did it. Like,
Batman is the world's greatest detective, so you know, this is, like I said, we're not an action game. The game is still action-packed. But, you know, we're diving into Bruce's head. We're diving into Batman's head. Oftentimes, we really want you to feel like you're still Bruce Wayne when he's out at night wearing the cape. And, you know, there's a lot of dots to connect on Bruce kind of finding out what's happening and where this crime and corruption is coming from. And you know, when you hit a warehouse, actually it's kind of like this warehouse. You're kind of poking around trying to find out what happened, or why are all these criminals dead, and why are they laying in the ground all beaten and bloody to a pulp. And you know, the Telltale style of mechanics, you know, our team of designers really cooked up something really simple but really fitting to help you feel like you are in the detective shoes of Batman. That isn't something like it's, you know, oh, find the hidden thing, but it's more how do we make you feel like a detective as part of the narrative itself, and help that theme feel seamless, really. And you know, while you do sort of solve certain crime scenes case by sort of scene by scene, it's really also this larger mystery that's happening throughout the entire series that's really happening throughout your character interactions that's going to unravel as the series goes along.
Now, there's one thing I want to ask. I could be wrong, but you know, I'm a big fan of Uncharted, and you know, Sully, the guy who did the voice of Sully in Uncharted, is he in this game? Is he doing the voice of Falcone?
Yeah, that's the voice of Falcone. Actually,
I knew it. That's what I'm talking about. I was like, yo, that's crazy.
We've got a lot of you know, if you played Tales from the Borderlands, a lot of the cast from Tales is now in Batman. We've got Troy Baker as Bruce Wayne.
Troy, that's my boy. I love Troy.
Selena Kyle as Laura Bailey. We've even got people from House of Cards. And Rytel is Alfred Pennyworth. We've got a huge cast. We've got Aaron Yvette is our Vicky Vale. Aaron was Sasha in Tales from the Borderlands. A lot of other Telltale games. And yeah, it's you know, we really like working with talented actors, and you know, I think we often speak the same language when we're writing a script. Everything's story first and script first, and you know, a credit to Troy as well. Like Troy, we spent the weekend with him at Comic-Con playing this game. We premiered it at Comic-Con with a big audience, and he's just so into the story and so into the script, and he's just every little detail. He's like, yes, in that scene, and that's gonna play out later, and oh, I gotta, you know, he's like, he's such a big dork and so on the ball, and he knows the source material, he knows the influence. He's very engaged, and all of our actors are, but Troy in particular, he loves the stuff. We love working with him.
That's amazing. Now let's talk about the new announcement with the crowd play and stuff like that. Now, to me, it was look, it was inevitable. It was inevitable, and the reason why is because when I was playing the first Walking Dead season 1, like all the way back then when y'all won the Game of the Year award, I think in 2012. Even then, I was playing with my nephews and nieces and stuff, and it was just you just joined in. It was just a natural thing you did watching the game. Now we have it. Talk about that. How it has evolved. What's the experience been like, and where do you see it going further?
Yeah, that's exactly kind of where this came from. I mean, for a lot of us that were raised on adventure games, 80s and 90s, and really didn't play action games or racing games, we're kind of just playing this genre that wasn't really super mass market as much as, a lot of console games, because you're kind of, back then PCs were a little harder to find and more expensive, and you're kind of holed up in the office computer room pointing and clicking on King's Quest and Day of the Tentacle. And adventure games weren't really part of the repertoire that you'd find in stores every single day. You'd have to go to the computer store, and we cut our teeth on adventure games. But growing up on them, we used to play with our friends and families, and our moms or our dads or brothers and sisters would sit there right alongside with us, and oh, click on this, or no, click on that. Oh, ask him where the key is. It became this interactive cinematic experience, and adventure games were always built in the language of cinema, and our games are all in the language of cinema. So jumping to 2012, more and more people were sort of discovering this genre that we've been really swimming around in for years and years and years, and it's a single player experience. But when you have people on the couch and in the living room and they're watching you talk, if it's Walking Dead or Game of Thrones, and there's a character on screen, oh, we hate that guy, or save him, or no, save her, like, it's tense, and you only have like this much amount of time to kind of make a decision. So the audience is really engaged, even if you're the only one using a controller. So we've really embraced that over the last couple of years. We've gone out, we've premiered games at the Alamo Draft House. We did Minecraft at the Cinerama Dome
I remember that. Yeah.
And then we just did Batman at San Diego Comic-Con on Saturday. And now it's going to be here for launch when Batman's out. Starting with Batman, all of Telltale's games will allow you to have a pilot player like yourself controlling all the action on screen, but you can have a second player up to 2 to 20 to 200, even 2,000, probably even 20 or 30,000. We actually haven't reached the limit on our servers to test it yet, but it's practically an infinite amount of players could be watching a big screen or in your living room. Is really ideally where so you play with your family, you play with your nephews. You're going to be able to play Batman. You'll hold the controls. Everyone else will just log into their cell phone or their tablet or anything that's connected online. Open up a browser. There's a simple URL for every game. They'll be able to hop in, enter their name, and then they can weigh in on all of the decisions and dialogue options. So there's 2 ways to set it. So you can set it so your audience has override, and the audience always controls the decisions and dialogue.
That would be fun.
Or the player has override, so you can see, oh, everyone wants to say no, but you're the player, and you're like, no, I'm going to say yes. And it's kind of this interesting back and forth dynamic between playing for yourself and playing for everyone in the room. And it's, it's something people have been doing for years, and we've done that plenty of times with our games and with our fans, and we're excited to make that official. And we see this becoming a big part of our regular activity. So PAX Prime and Comic-Cons and movie theater events, special it's for big crowds, and it's for living rooms, and obviously I think Twitch streamers are really going to enjoy it. It's right now, though, we will say it's because we don't want to stop time. You only have like 3 seconds to make a choice, right? Latency when you're streaming is about 7 to 10 seconds, so we'd have to stop the game to make it kind of work with Twitch, but then it doesn't really work because it breaks the tension. But we have sort of a thumbs up, thumbs down system. So if you're watching someone streaming or YouTubing, you can be logged in the game as well. In reality, you're maybe 10 seconds behind, but you can thumbs up, thumbs down. Oh, he did that to Falcone. Oh, he did this. You can see all your viewers like that live on screen, and they see their name there, whether they're really enjoying what the streamer did or what the streamer didn't do. As every couple months, live streaming gets faster and faster. So this is future-proof. So when you get like a super fast connection at home and a new streaming, actually one of the best ones right now is PlayStation Share.
Yeah. I use that a lot.
that is more instantaneous, I think, more than sort of some Twitch and YouTube games.
Nah, absolutely, it is. I use it all the time, so I can.
Your family's out in California or somewhere else. You can play it with them, and they can play with you more instantaneously live. But it's future-proof, so all of Telltale's future series will have crowd play, and it's totally optional. So if it's not your thing, still play it alone, but if you really like to have more of a social experience and you want to engage your friends and family or an audience of hundreds or thousands, our games are now set up for it. So
that's amazing. Do y'all hear what he's saying? This is yo, it's like just yesterday Atari 2600 playing Pac-Man with the joystick and the red button. Now we got games where you can actually have 20,000 people be a part of your experience. Jesus, like you know what I'm saying? It's like, what do you do? Now, my next question, and this is a big one, because we was talking about social issues just in real life, and you was talking about how like people voted to do something, but then you ask them how did they feel about doing it, and a lot of people actually felt bad about after they made the decision. And also I was telling people that, you know, just in life, one of the things that Telltale is doing to not just change gaming, because they changed gaming forever, but what they are doing in terms of changing real people's lives forever, because the decisions that you make in these games, it really makes you think about what you would do, and you kind of like question yourself through a video game. And after you make that decision, you actually think about it like, yo, like maybe I shouldn't have did that. It can actually affect your social daily life and how you interact with people. And we need a better representation of people nowadays, because there's a lot of killing, police getting killed, police killing people, like especially black people. You see me, I gotta be careful out here. It's crazy, but I'm just a real dude. You know what I'm saying, Job? And your games, it's like a savior, man. Like it's amazing what. No, I'm serious. I just got to give you your props. These games and what you've done with all your series, you bring reality in a deeper level, and you know, I'm just blessed to be in your presence. God is working with you, and I thank you and the team. I love Telltale. I love y'all. Seriously, talk about how people responded to the games.
You know, you look at something like Walking Dead or even Batman here or anything else we're doing. They're all different genres. There's fantasy, there's sci-fi, there's horror, there's superhero action and drama like we have now with Batman, and they're different universes, and there's different themes that you can explore, but they're not action games. It's not the typical, you've got a gun, you're running around, and you just shoot everything and you score points. Yeah. You know, in some games, there's story, and the story's great, but you could be shooting, you know, NPCs all day, and you don't really think anything. In a Telltale game, anytime you're going to pull a trigger, or anytime, you know, you're faced with the decision of whether you're going to responsibly apprehend someone or possibly even brutalize someone, it's not about the thrill of it, it's about the decision to do it. It's not about the Twitch gameplay. Yes. So it presents that opportunity where, you know, we're not passing judgment. We aren't saying, hey, here's the right and wrong choice, it's up to you. We just want people to really feel like they're in the shoes of the character. Yes. And having that choice to do X or Y, like there's a scene in Batman, and it's not really a spoiler, but you can choose to reasonably arrest someone who's done awful things, or you can viciously brutalize someone who's done awful things. And no matter what you do, all of the media is right there watching. There's police helicopters. You're going to hear about this on Gotham City PD. And this is really your chance to be the hero that you want to be. And we've been playing games for so long where you just don't think twice about getting the bad guy or how you're going to take down a boss and what the consequences and really social repercussions are of the decisions that you're making. And there's no judgment on us. It's fun to do either. Don't get us wrong. Yeah, but it is. But we want you to think on a different level, and we want you to have that discussion. And it's interesting is that you actually chose to arrest this person, and we did a crowd play in San Diego. I think the crowd leaned a little more you know, actually I think they may have been on arrest. Our player, Mr. Greg Miller, chose to brutalize.
Yeah, Greg, why you when I see you again, it's on. That's a play. That's my man, though.
But you know, it's interesting because now that we're opening up as more of a social experience, it's up for debate. We want people to talk. We want people to talk about, yes, what's right and wrong, but we also want to talk about what's right and wrong for the character. And for the character of Batman, you know, he doesn't use guns. He's not really a killer, you know. But things happen, and when you are in his shoes and you're in his cowl and you're wearing his cape, or when you're wearing his business suit and you are out there as Bruce Wayne, everything that you do has consequence, and everything that you do, everyone's watching. And you know, with Telltale Games, it's so very much often not about what's happening on screen.
Yeah.
It's about what's happening in here and in here,
Yeah.
and how it makes you feel and how it impacts you as a player. So opening that up for families and friends and audiences to really experience together, this is kind of a big step forward for us, so we're excited.
Yeah, I got 2 more questions for you, then we're going to wrap it up. The next question, and I think this one is the biggest one, actually. I think this is when you guys decided to go with this original story, right? I'm assuming that you guys had to get clearance from the real creators of, you know, Batman and all this other stuff to see if they would accept it. Depending on the success of this, which I can assume it'll be massive, especially with this game.
Thank you.
Do you think you know, DC and, you know, Warner would actually turn this original story into a big screen movie that people would go and see? And the reason why I say that is because the way the story is being told, it'll be amazing to see a movie that could possibly make me feel as strongly as the game does if they did it prospectively correctly.
I'm going to tell you why that would never happen. Wow. And why and here's what's interesting is film is a passive medium.
Yeah, definitely.
And when you're watching a film, you're watching one predetermined story, and you're not an active participant in that story. But Telltale's games were all built in this language of cinema. It's like an interactive film.
Yeah.
So to take an interactive story where the impact is really within, based on the decisions that you're making, I think to rob that, when we are also presenting the opportunity, like we did at Comic-Con, to play in a big screen, play it just like a movie, and have the entire audience participate in an active fashion, our games become interactive cinema. So the purpose of making a movie out of something that's making something passive out of interactive, I think it's a little lost, and I think what might be a bigger opportunity is expanding and taking the games themselves into different theaters and into different events, and really playing with audiences where the entire audience can participate, and with crowd play they absolutely can. So it's really this kind of new way of thinking on really what is...
Instead of just going to see a movie, we could go experience the game.
And our games sit in between games and film.
Yeah.
So marrying those and taking those into theaters, it's something we've been doing, and you know, I don't... the door is wide open. There's a lot of opportunity, and I think we're going to be out on the road. We'll be out playing with fans. We'll be doing big events, and we just did that with DC and Warner at Comic-Con. So I hope we're going to be back in October for New York Comic-Con and some other big events. And yeah, we will absolutely have our games running in big movie theaters for special engagements, and everyone in the audiences will be playing along with us.
Oh my God. Now for my final question, I gotta ask you, man, and this is more of a personal question, but growing up, what was some of the games that you saw or experienced that have allowed you to make and be this much passionate on the games that we see today, especially this Batman series? What was that game or some games you could name that you could think back on and reflect and be like, you know what, this was one of my favorite games back in the day, and this element would probably work in Batman, or this element will probably work with what we're doing at Telltale? Like, I would love to know, like, the true source of Joe right now.
So And I need to stress this. I am speaking for a team of over 350 incredibly talented.
I love you all. From my soul, my heart, and everything. You come to my house, and my sister cooks. She'll make patalinos for you. Well, I know I probably said that wrong, but like, I love y'all, yo. It's an honor always. I mean that. It's an honor talking to y'all all the time, man.
Thank you. It's awesome. It's awesome to talk to you. We love having you out, and I don't know when this is going up, but the series is going to premiere on August 2nd. Yes. You can download it on every device: PlayStation 4, 3, 360, Xbox One, PC, Mac, iOS, Android, Amazon. From the tiny cell phone screen to the big screen, we're going to be in a lot of places, and it's going to run all the way through sometime around the end of the year. There's 5 episodes, and you can download them, or you can buy a disc. It's a season pass disc. If you really want to have something on your shelf, pop that disc in. It'll just update every time there's a new episode. And we're going to be doing this live, so if you play along with us, just like every Telltale series, we're going to be watching what the audiences are doing. We're going to be watching what the players are doing. And certain parts of the story are going to kind of tweak and shift a little bit here and there, and we kind of get to really open the door to let the players become the last part of the development process. And when you play it live, and you can say that you kind of helped shape the way it turned out.
Yo, and you gotta name the games. You gotta name the games.
I wouldn't say that they're games.
Okay.
I'd say that if there's any info, because we're very cinematic and it's all story driven, I'd say that if there's anywhere that at least the first episode of Batman could really land between, we looked at obviously all the Batman games and all the Batman films and all the Batman comics, but kind of finding our own take on it. We were inspired by the films of Michael Mann, like Heat.
What?
And Miami Vice. You're watching?
Yeah. Miami Vice though was the joint right there.
Joint and Heat especially, just like the heist scene in the beginning here with Batman, kind of taking it in that kind of darker, more grounded.
That was so gangster the way y'all set that up.
We love that. And I'd say Michael Mann films and maybe a little bit of House of Cards. But there's all kinds of backstabbing. House of Cards is great. Politics going on with Bruce Wayne, and just getting text messages from Alfred and everyone all the time. And
no, say that. You just gotta play this game. You just gotta play it. So look, man, August 2nd is coming. Look, get it. Period. It's your boy HipHopGamer, Hot 97. My man Joe, Telltale Games. That's it. We are out of here. God bless and thank y'all for the support. Peace.